Today we will continue with our unit, that is divisibility. Okay, so we are we have learned some point like even and odd numbers, division algorithm up to the last lecture. Okay, today we will see a theorem. So in number theory there are lots of theorem related to the theory of numbers. Okay, and they are very interesting theorems. Okay, the first theorem is the product of m consecutive integers. The product of m consecutive integers is always divisible by m factorial. Okay, if you take product of m consecutive integer, it is always divisible by m factorial. For example, we will take product of 3 consecutive integers. Okay, so take 3 consecutive integers, so 5 into 4 into 3. Okay, the product of m consecutive integers. Here 3, 4, 5 are consecutive integers. Okay, and therefore 5 into 4 into 20 into 3 is 60. This product is equal to 60, and the theorem says the product of m consecutive integers is always divisible by m factorial, where m is the number of integers. How many integers are there? 3. So this product must be divisible by 3 factorial. 3 factorial is 3 into 2 into 1, so 6, and 6 always divides 6. This is the use of this theorem, that product of m consecutive integers is always divisible by m factorial. So we will solve this theorem in 2-3 cases. Okay, so first case, so for first we will write an integer. We will take m consecutive integer and take their product. Okay, so let the product of m consecutive integer be. Okay, so let product. Okay, so we will see proof of m consecutive integers. Okay, b. We write m consecutive integer. Okay, so first integer is n, say like n 5. The second integer is n minus 1. Okay, so here we can write n minus 1. Okay, then n minus 2 up to we have write n consecutive integer. Okay, so n minus 0, n minus 1, n minus 2 up to n minus m minus 1. Okay, because 0, 1, 2 up to m minus 1 there are m integer like 0, 1, 2. These are 3 integers like 0, n minus 1 up to n minus m minus 1 are m integers. So n minus m minus minus plus 1. So we write this as n minus m plus 1. Okay, so this is the product of m consecutive integer. Okay, let this is the product of m consecutive integers. Okay, where n is integer. Okay, where n is integer and m is a natural number, because they are consecutive integers. You are right here like this. So 5 into 4 into 3 is like this, n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to so. So this is the product of m consecutive integers. So now there are two numbers, one is n, other is m. So we will prove this theorem in some cases. Okay, so case 1, that suppose n is greater equal to m. Okay, here n is 5 and m was 3, so n was greater equal to the m. Okay, so case 1 is n is greater equal to m. Okay, we will write this product as a p. We will say it is a p. Okay, so n is greater equal to m. Now p is equal to, so product of m consecutive integers, n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to n minus m plus 1. Okay, now we will multiply and divide this by one quantity. What is the quantity? We will write the remaining terms. Like here it was 5 into 4 into 3. We will write the remaining terms up to 1. So write multiply it by 2 into 1 and also divide by 2 into 1. So the quantity remains same. 5 into 4 into 3. The two numbers remaining up to 1 are 2 and 1. So multiply and divide by 2 and 1. So write here 2 into 1 divide by 2 into 1. Similarly, we will write here remaining numbers up to 1 and divide by the remaining quantity. Okay. So here n minus m minus 1. So next quantity will be n minus m, then n minus m plus 1 up to so on like this 2 into 1. Okay. So we have multiplied by this extra quantity. So we have to divide by this quantity. So to maintain the same value of this product. Okay. So we will divide this quantity by this remaining quantity. Okay. So n minus m into n minus, this was n minus m, then n minus m minus 1, n minus m minus 2 up to so on. Okay. So n minus m, okay, minus 1 up to so on. So we will get here up to 2 into 1. Okay. So what is this? This is n minus m factorial. Like this was 5 into 4 into 3. So we have 5 into 4 into 3. Multiply by remaining part is 2 into 1. Divide by 2 into 1. This is 2 factorial. Like this is n minus m factorial. Okay. Now this see this 1 into 2 into up to so on up to n. Like this 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. This is become 5 factorial. Like this become n factorial. Okay. This is equal to n factorial upon this quantity is n minus m factorial. Now there is one theorem, our formula of combination. Okay. The formula for combination is, you know the formula. The formula for n choose m or NCM, you can write is equal to R is equal to n factorial into n minus n factorial into m factorial. Okay. So multiply and divide this quantity by n factorial. So this is equal to n factorial divided by the extra quantity m factorial. Okay. Since we have divided by the extra quantity m factorial, to maintain the same value, we have to multiply this by m factorial. Now what is this? Is NCM, n factorial upon n minus n factorial into m factorial. This quantity is called n choose m or NCM. You will just make some addition, multiply it by m factorial. Okay. So this is equal to, what is this? This quantity is n choose m minus m factorial. So this is equal to m factorial into n choose m. And you have already learned in 11th standard this combination formula, and you know the n choose m combination always equal to some integer. So this is some integer. Okay. And this is the product of m consecutive integer. So product of m consecutive integer is equal to n factorial into some integer. Okay. This means m factorial divides p. That is n factorial divides product m consecutive integer. Okay. So this is like product is equal to n factorial into n choose m. This is some integer. So this is like product is equal to n factorial into some integer. We know if a is equal to b into c, then b divides a. This is like same. P is equal to n factorial into integers means n factorial divides p. This applies the n factorial divide the product, that is n factorial divides product of m consecutive integer. P is product of m consecutive integer. So first case has been solved. Okay. In case 1, we have assumed that n is greater equal to m. Okay. Now we will see case 2. Now in this case, we will assume that n is less than m but greater equal to the 0. Okay. In previous case, we assume n was greater equal to m. But the interesting thing about this case is, first we will take some example which is not a part of a proof, but it will clear the concept of second case. Okay. Suppose we will take m is equal to 4 and we have to take n less than m. Okay, so n is 3. Now take the product 3 consecutive integers. Okay, n minus 1, n minus 2. Now n is equal to 3. So product of 3 and 4, m is 4. Okay, product of m consecutive integers. Okay, and n is less than m. So we have to take 4 consecutive integers from 3. So 3, next 2, 1 and 0. Whenever n is less than m and we are taking 4 consecutive integers, one factor of the product of that 4 consecutive integers always 0. At least there exists one factor always equal to 0. So total multiplication or total product of m consecutive integers become 0. So we can say now n factorial means 4 factorial means 120 divides 0. Any non-zero number always divides 0. Whenever n is less than m, one factor always equal to 0. So both of m consecutive integers become 0. So m factor always divides 0. This is the second part. So we can say, so whenever n is less than m, one factor in the product p always 0. This implies the product of m consecutive integer, this product is equal to 0, and so m factorial always divides, because m is non-negative integer and every non-negative integer always divides 0. So m factorial divides 0. Okay, this is the second case, that whenever n is less than m, m factorial divides product of m consecutive integer. Now third case, when n is negative. Okay, so case third, n is negative. You have seen two cases earlier. One case when n is greater equal to m. Second case when n is less than m but greater equal to 0. And third case n is negative integer. Okay. Now since n is negative, we can write n is equal to minus k, where k is positive integer. So negative of positive is negative. So put n is equal to minus k in this product. So what we will get? So we will get product p. Put n is equal to minus. Replace n by minus k. So here is n. So it is minus k. Here minus k. Instead of n minus k. Minus 1 as it is. Then minus k minus 2. Okay. Up to so on. So here minus k minus m plus 1. Okay. But this is equal to, take minus common from each bracket or each term. So minus take common. These are the m terms, because this is the product of m consecutive integers. So minus 1 taken common m times. So this is equal to minus 1 raised to power m. Okay. Now we have taken minus n outside. So minus k, now only k. Minus taken outside, so minus taken outside. So this is k plus 1. This is minus taken outside. So this is k plus 2 up to this become minus k become plus k. Minus will become plus m and plus will become minus because minus and taken common. Okay. So this is the value of p now. Okay. Now see, this is k plus 1, k plus 2 up to so on. So what we will do? You have to maintain some factorial term here. Okay. Now these are increasing terms. So we have to take the sequence of terms so that this sequence k minus 1 up to 1. So since we are multiplying this term, we have to divide us by the term. So maintain the value of p. So we can write p is equal to multiply and divide by 1, 2, 3 up to k minus 1. So minus 1 raised to power m as it is. Okay. So multiply by 1, 2, 3 up to k minus 1. So remain terms as it is. So k plus 1, k plus 2 up to k plus m minus 1. Okay. Now we have multiplied by this term. To maintain the value, we have to divide by this extra term. Okay. This by this term we have to divide also. So 1 into 2 up to k minus 1. This implies k is equal to, so minus 1 raised to power m as it is. Now this is 1, 2, 3 k minus 1 up to k plus m plus minus 1. This becomes k plus m minus 1 factorial. So k plus m minus 1 factorial. This 1, 2 up to k minus 1. This becomes k minus 1 factorial. Okay. Now multiply and divide by m factorial as we have done in first case. Okay. So multiply and divide by n factorial. So it is n factorial. This is n factorial. But now focus on this term. What is this term? This term is equal to minus 1 raised to power m as it is. It is k plus m minus 1. Choose m factorial. So again our formula NCM. Okay. This is equal to k plus m minus 1. Choose m. Why? Because this formula equal to factor of this term, the factor of this term upon k plus m minus 1 minus m. So m and m get cancelled. So remains only k minus 1 factorial and factorial of m. Okay, so this term is equal to this into n factorial. Again, this term is a integer. So p is equal to minus 1 raised to power m into some integer into n factorial. So again, p is equal to a into b. So this implies this divides again by definition of divisibility m factorial divides p. Right? Because here p is equal to some integer into this integer n factorial. So this implies like a is equal to b into c or a is equal to b into c. So b divides a. This implies m factorial divides. Okay. Again, so we have to for negative integer also the product of m consecutive integers always divisible by m factorial or m factorial always divides product of m consecutive integers. Now we will see some example based on our theorem. Okay. The first question is to prove that 3 divides a cube minus a, where a is some integer. First, we will write a cube minus a as take a common, so a into a square minus 1. Okay, this is a square minus 1 square. So formula we know a square minus b square, a minus b into a plus b. So here it is equal to a as it is a minus 1 and a plus 1. Okay. Now we write this as factor a minus 1 first, then factor a, then a plus 1. Now look at this a minus 1, a plus 1, product of 3 consecutive integers, and theorem says product of m consecutive integers divides is divisible by m factorials. That is m factorial divides product of m consecutive integers. Here these are 3 consecutive integers, so it is divisible by 3 factorial. This is nothing but this. So by theorem, 3 factorial divides this a cube minus a. Why? Because a cube minus a is nothing but the product of 3 consecutive integers, and we know the theorem suggests m factorial divides product of m consecutive integers. So 3 factorial divides product of m 3 consecutive integers. This is nothing but 3 consecutive product of 3 consecutive integers. So this is the divisible by 3 factorial. Okay. What we have to prove? 3 divides a cube minus a. We have shown 3 factorial divides a cube minus a. We know 3 factorial means 6, and 3 divides 6, and 6 divides a cube minus a. That is 3 divides 3 factorial, and 3 factorial divides a cube minus a. Means 3 also divides a cube minus a. Okay. 3 divides a cube minus a. You know the result. If a divides b and b divides c, then a divides c. Similarly, 3 divides 3 factorial, 3 factorial divides a cube minus a. So 3 divides a cube minus. Okay. This is the first example. Now second example. Okay. Prove that n square minus n is divisible by 2. Okay. Again, you have to use similar pattern. Now n square minus n is equal to n into n minus 1. Now look at this. N into n minus 1. Two consecutive integers and their product. That is product of two consecutive integers. So by theorem, this number is always divisible by 2 factorial. 2 factorial divides n square minus n. Why? Because n square minus n is nothing but the product of two consecutive integers. So always divisible by 2 factorial. 2 is 2. It implies 2 divides n square minus. Very easy example. Again now, third example. Prove that n cube minus n is divisible by 6. This example is very much similar to the example, but we will again prove it. Okay. Now, we know n cube minus n is equal to n is common, so n square minus 1. Again, here it is n square minus 1, so we can write this as n minus 1, n plus 1. So n into n minus 1 into n plus 1. Okay. So we can write this as n minus 1 into n plus 1. So see, n minus 1, n plus 1, product of 3 consecutive integers. So this number, that is this number is divisible by 3 factorial. This implies 3 factorial divides n cube minus 1. 3 factorial is nothing but 6. 3 into 2 into 1. So 6 divides n cube minus n. This is the use of this theorem. Okay. Also, we can easily say that the number 120 is divisible by 3 factorial, or divisible by 3, or divisible by 6. Why? Because 120 is nothing but the product of 3 consecutive integers. 5 into 4 into 3. 5 into 4 is 6 into 5 into 4. Okay, 6 into 5 is 30. 30 into 4 is 120. So product of 3 consecutive integers. So by this theorem, 3 factorial divides 120. That is 6 divides 120. Now 3 divides 6. 6 divides 120. So 3 also divides 120. Okay, this is the use of the theorem. We can easily see that 120 is divisible by 3 factorial. Or that is 6. Okay. So thank you.